I don't think the court, or for that matter, the Republicans who for decades have pushed the extreme agenda, have a clue about the power of American women. But they're about to find out, in my view.
Today, President Biden signed an executive order that will safeguard access to medication abortions, protect patient privacy, launch public education efforts, and bolster the security of and the legal options available to those seeking and providing abortion services. But there's only so much the president can do. And one thing he can't do is restore access to abortion. But there is something that can be done. You can vote.
Based on the reasoning of the court, there is no constitutional right to choose. The only way to fulfill and restore that right for women in this country is by voting, by exercising the power at the ballot box. Let me explain. We need 2 additional pro-choice senators and a pro-choice House to codify Roe as federal law. Your vote can make that a reality.
I believe, as I wrote in my Washington Post column today, that voting is your one superpower in our democracy. In order for Biden to do all of the ambitious things Democrats want, he needs a House and Senate that will send him legislation he can sign into law. He needs a bigger Democratic majority in Congress, especially in the Senate, not the wafer-thin one that currently exists. Now, there are some who will claim they are demoralized because of what they see as Biden's legislative impotence and then stay home in November. And if they do, Republicans will win bigger majorities and demolish even more rights. And then those same people will blame the Democrats. On America's 246th birthday, still raw from losing a constitutional right at the hands of the Republican-appointed justices on the Supreme Court, a mass murderer was able to very easily obtain a weapon of war and kill a bunch of people and destroy a bunch of families forever because, God forbid, we ever touch that right. Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, who will join us in a moment, tweeted this. Yesterday, I texted with a friend in Illinois who said they started their day yesterday walking to neighborhood field games and ended the day sheltering in place from a mass shooter. It's too much, she said. It's just too much. We weren't made to endure this much trauma. That's why pleas of just vote feel so trite and disgusting. I know there's a dystopian disconnect. Like elected officials don't feel that trauma, don't know the pain, the loss, don't understand how hard it is to want to participate in a system that doesn't care about you. I got into this work knowing this. Gun violence, reproductive rights, discrimination. These were all policy choices. Policy choices made for too long by other people for us, without us. Politics won't solve everything, but we deserve people making policy who give a damn. Joining us now is Democratic State Senator Mallory McMorrow of Michigan. Senator McMorrow, it's great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. I want to start with what you tweeted. Like elected officials don't feel that trauma. You're an elected official. You are one only because people voted for you. Can you just kind of expand on what you see as the disconnect?
Of course. And I think that the president was right on today because there's a difference between telling people to just vote and then there's laying out a plan. They're saying, this is everything I'm able to do with my power. And here's what's standing in the way of real action. It's treating voters like we're on the same team because we are. If we work together and we're honest about what's standing in the way of policy changes, then we lay out the roadmap and then we give people a reason and a belief in voting again. Because it hurts. It hurt that I was walking with my daughter in a 4th of July parade and then got home to the news that another parade where friends of mine live ended in horror. And I think the more of us who express that, the more of us who feel what our constituents are feeling, but then lay out a plan that says that we're all in this together and it needs every single person on the team.
Isn't some of this anger about a system that favors the minority, the Electoral College, the Senate, but also because the minority has shown it will break democracy in a way that Democrats will not?
Absolutely. And we have to recognize the urgency of that moment. So it's not only voting, it's voting in this election, because what we're seeing around the country, and the Supreme Court has already nodded that they're going to take this up, is sending everything back to the states, which some will argue, that's federalism at its finest. But it's sending things back to the states and then partisan gerrymandering and taking away the power of the courts to rule against that. So we're going to get into a place, if we don't act now, where we will no longer be able to fairly elect people who represent us, and potentially not even be able to elect the next president. So it is on all of us, and it's on all of us right now.
I want to bring up something else you tweeted, which I think is really important. You tweeted, it also has to be said that those who have done the most work have often also endured the most trauma. Black women, LGBTQ people, to start. So it's critical that all of us, especially those of us who are generally okay, step up. Just because you're okay doesn't mean this is okay. Senator McMurrow, we saw black women push Biden to victory in Georgia in 2020 and give Democrats a majority in the Senate. So effectively, Republicans passed a voter suppression law in that state. But I'm just wondering, not voting because you're demoralized is a privilege, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen criticism of people have been devastated because this shooting took place in Highland Park, which is, a wealthier community, a largely white community. And we see gun violence every day. We see gun violence every day in communities. Just here in Detroit, we saw a young police officer, a father of two, get gunned down by an assault rifle responding to the scene. That happens every single day. So we have to get off of our butts, pull ourselves out of this funk. It hurts. It really hurts the news every day, and lock arms with people who have been doing this work for a lot longer than people who look like me, because it's true. This is not okay, but we are the only ones who have the power to change it.
You've been posting some photos of meetings you've had with voters. What are they telling you?
That it is too much, that it hurts, that this country's in a really dark place, that we've never seen it this divided. But people fundamentally still believe in this country. What's reassuring to me is the fact that even despite all of the demoralization, people are still coming out to meet me, and they want to talk about how we can work together, how we can make our state and our communities and our country better. That's what this country was founded on. And the fact that people are still showing up, and showing up pretty big in Michigan can be the playbook that everybody else follows.